Powerful people are not impressed the way ordinary people are. They do not respond to excitement, honesty, or emotional intensity. They respond to positioning, usefulness, and control. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this while observing rulers, generals, and elites at close distance. He saw how alliances were built without affection and how access was granted only to those who understood how power truly thinks. This understanding can be reduced to 13 ruthless laws. Law 1. Never approach power from below. The moment you arrive with admiration, urgency, or need, you signal weakness. Power does not feel flattered by worship. It feels superior. Those who succeed arrive calm, unhurried, and grounded, as if their life is already full. Power prefers sideways connections, not vertical ones. If you place yourself beneath, you will never be invited beside. Consider how this plays out in practice. When someone enters a room desperate for approval, their body language shifts. They lean forward. They speak faster. They watch for reactions with visible anxiety. This is not confidence. It is submission packaged as enthusiasm. And power reads it instantly. The alternative is not arrogance. It is equilibrium. You enter as someone with options, someone whose presence is a choice, not a necessity. This does not require wealth or status. It requires only the refusal to telegraph desperation. When you stop needing validation, you become harder to dismiss. Machiavelli observed this in the courts of Florence and Rome. Those who begged for favor were given scraps. Those who arrived as equals, even when they possessed less, were taken seriously. Position is perception. And perception begins with how you carry yourself in the first 30 seconds. Law 2. Become useful before asking for anything. Powerful people do not invest time. They invest in advantage. Before you ask for attention, mentorship, or access, you must first provide value. Solve a problem. Reduce friction. Bring information or results without being asked. When your presence improves their position, you stop being ignored and start being protected. This is not servitude. This is strategy. Most people approach powerful figures with requests disguised as conversations. They want introductions, opportunities, endorsements. But they arrive empty-handed. They offer nothing except their own ambition, which means nothing to someone who already has theirs. The shift is simple but profound. Before you ask, deliver. Find what they need and provide it without fanfare. Send the article they would find useful. Introduce them to someone who solves their problem. Complete a task they mentioned in passing. Do this quietly, with no expectation of immediate return. What happens next is predictable. They notice. Not because you asked them to, but because usefulness is rare. And once they notice, the dynamic shifts. You are no longer a petitioner. You are an asset. And assets are retained, not dismissed. Law 3. Control your emotions completely. Emotion is exposure. The moment you react too quickly, show excitement, anger, or need, your leverage weakens. Machiavelli believed emotional discipline was essential to survival near power. Those who master their reactions appear unpredictable, and unpredictability creates caution. Calm people are harder to control, and power respects what it cannot easily read. This law extends beyond anger. It includes enthusiasm. When you react with visible excitement to praise, opportunity, or invitation, you reveal how much it matters to you. And the moment power knows how much something matters, it knows how to manipulate you. Think of the poker player who never changes expression. Or the negotiator who receives bad news without flinching. Their composure is not coldness. It is control. and control creates doubt in the mind of the opponent. Are they bluffing? Do they have another option? Are they less invested than they appear? This uncertainty is leverage. Machiavelli understood that rulers feared advisors they could not fully read. Predictable people are safe. Inscrutable people are dangerous. And danger, when controlled, commands respect. Law 4. Speak less than necessary. Most people talk too much because they fear silence. Power uses silence as a weapon. When you speak less than expected, your words carry weight. When you pause before answering, others listen more closely. Silence gives space for others to expose themselves. Power observes before it reveals. Silence is not absence. It is presence refined. When you resist the urge to fill every gap in conversation, something shifts. Others become uncomfortable. They start talking to fill the void. And in filling it, they reveal more than they intended. Machiavelli noted that the most dangerous advisors were those who listened more than they spoke. They gathered intelligence while others performed. They understood the landscape before committing to a position. And when they finally spoke, their words carried the weight of careful observation. This does not mean never speaking. It means speaking with intention. Every sentence should serve a purpose. Remove filler. Eliminate unnecessary explanations. Stop defending yourself before you are accused. The more you explain, the weaker your position appears. Power speaks in declarations, not justifications. Learn the rhythm. Speak less. Mean more. Law 5. Never try to impress. Intrigue instead. Power has already seen intelligence, confidence, and charm. What it rarely sees is restraint. When you explain too much or reveal everything you know, you remove mystery. Mystery keeps attention alive. Those who remain partially unknown remain interesting longer than those who reveal everything too soon. The mistake most people make is treating every interaction like an audition. They display credentials, name-drop connections, and recite achievements. They believe this demonstrates value. It does not. It demonstrates insecurity masked as confidence. Intrigue operates differently. It withholds. It suggests depth without exposing it fully. It answers questions without exhausting the subject. When someone asks what you do, and you give a brief, understated answer, curiosity forms. When you reference knowledge without performing it, respect builds. Machiavelli admired leaders who kept their true capabilities hidden until necessity revealed them. The general who appeared ordinary until battle. The diplomat who seemed pleasant until negotiation. These figures understood that revealed potential is spent capital. Unrevealed potential is infinite. Law 6. Align yourself with the self-interest of power. Power is not driven by morality. It is driven by vision, reputation, and legacy. If your presence strengthens any of these, you are welcomed. If it does not, you are tolerated at best. Machiavelli understood that men forget favors, but they never forget advantage. Speak in terms of what power gains, not what you want. This requires a shift in language. Stop framing requests around your needs. Frame them around their outcomes. Do not ask for mentorship. Offer to help execute their vision. Do not request access to their network. Explain how your work extends their influence. This is not manipulation. This is alignment. Powerful people are not withholding resources out of cruelty. They are protecting limited time and attention. When you demonstrate that your success accelerates theirs, resistance disappears. Consider the entrepreneur who approaches an investor. The weak pitch focuses on the founder's passion and effort. The strong pitch focuses on market opportunity and return. One centers the asker. The other centers mutual gain. Power always chooses the latter. Law 7. Never outshine the powerful in public. This is one of the most dangerous mistakes. When you appear smarter, louder, or more capable in front of others, even unintentionally, you become a threat. Power forgives errors. It does not forgive embarrassment. The wise win privately and allow power to shine publicly. Credit moves upward. Influence is built quietly. History is filled with talented individuals who destroyed themselves through this error. The advisor who corrected the king in front of the court. The employee who solved the problem their manager could not. The partner who received more applause than the senior figure. All of them paid the price. The solution is not incompetence. It is discretion. You can be brilliant behind closed doors. You can solve problems no one else can. But in public settings, you defer. You redirect credit. You make the powerful person appear as the source of insight, even when the insight was yours. This feels dishonest until you understand the game. Public perception determines position. Private competence determines longevity. Secure the second by managing the first. Let them shine in the moment. Collect influence over time. Law 8. Make yourself hard to replace. Availability destroys value. Those who are always present, always agreeing, always reachable become disposable. Scarcity creates importance. When access to you feels earned rather than guaranteed, dependency forms. And dependency creates loyalty. Power respects what it cannot easily replace. This law applies to time, attention, and expertise. The person who responds to every message within minutes trains others to expect instant access. The person who agrees to every request signals infinite availability. Both become background noise. Contrast this with someone who is selective. Who responds thoughtfully but not immediately. Who says no when necessary. Who guards their time as if it has value. This person becomes harder to take for granted. Their attention becomes a resource, not a given. Machiavelli saw this in military alliances. The kingdom that could be summoned at will was treated as a servant. The kingdom that joined only when the terms suited them was treated as an equal. Scarcity creates respect. Abundance creates contempt. Law 9. Never gossip or complain. The moment you speak carelessly about others, power assumes you will do the same about them. Complaints signal instability and lack of discipline. Emotional leakage makes you unsafe. The wise remain neutral, composed, and controlled, especially when others lose balance. Silence in chaos is remembered. Gossip is not just unethical. It is tactically foolish. When you speak negatively about someone who is absent, you reveal 3 things. First, that you are willing to betray confidence. Second, that you lack discretion. Third, that you may be speaking about them when they are not present. Power trusts people who can hold information. Who do not react emotionally when others falter. Who remain steady when the environment becomes unstable. These qualities are rare, and rarity creates value. When others around you gossip or complain, your silence becomes your signature. You become the person who does not participate in chaos. And that person is remembered when stability is needed. Law 10. Adapt to the rhythm of power. Every powerful person has a tempo. Some move fast. Some move slowly. Some speak little and observe everything. When you disrupt their rhythm, friction appears. When you match it, comfort forms. Familiarity creates trust. And trust is the real currency of power. This is not mimicry. This is attunement. Pay attention to how they communicate. Do they prefer brief updates or detailed explanations? Do they value speed or precision? Do they make decisions quickly or after extended deliberation? When you match their natural rhythm, interactions become frictionless. They do not need to adjust to you. You have already adjusted to them. This creates ease. And ease creates preference. Given two equally competent people, power will always choose the one who requires less cognitive effort to work with. Machiavelli understood that successful advisors were not necessarily the most talented. They were the ones who made the ruler feel understood. Who anticipated needs. Who operated in harmony with the ruler's temperament. This is not weakness. It is mastery. Law 11. Do not ask for permission. Assume. Asking permission places you below. Acting confidently and allowing correction later places you closer to equal. Bold action signals belief in oneself. Hesitation invites dominance. Machiavelli favored decisiveness because uncertainty creates openings for control. This does not mean recklessness. It means proceeding with calculated confidence. Instead of asking, "May I handle this project?" you say, "I'll take responsibility for this project unless you'd prefer someone else." The framing shifts the dynamic. When you act first and adjust if corrected, you signal competence and initiative. When you ask permission for every move, you signal dependence and insecurity. Power respects those who can operate independently, even if occasional course correction is needed. The key is reading boundaries correctly. Some decisions require consultation, but many do not. Learn to distinguish between the two. And when in doubt, act. Apologies are easier than permissions. And confidence, even when occasionally wrong, is more respected than timidity. Law 12. Show loyalty, but never blindly. Blind loyalty invites exploitation. Strategic loyalty builds respect. Support must be given with awareness and withdrawn silently when boundaries are crossed. Power wants allies, not servants. Those who cannot walk away are never respected. Loyalty is essential, but it must be conditional. When you support power unconditionally, you remove all incentive for them to respect your boundaries. You signal that no matter how you are treated, you will remain. This does not inspire gratitude. It inspires indifference. Strategic loyalty means supporting fully when aligned, but maintaining the capacity to withdraw if necessary. This does not require dramatic exits or public betrayals. It requires quiet boundaries. The ability to step back when taken for granted. The willingness to reduce availability when exploited. Machiavelli observed that the most dangerous allies were those who had nothing left to lose. They became unpredictable. The most valuable allies were those who chose loyalty freely and could choose otherwise. Their support meant something because it was not guaranteed. Law 13. Never reveal your full agenda. This is the most important law of all. Those who expose their full intention surrender leverage. When your desires are known, they can be used against you. Always keep something private. One ambition. One motive. One unspoken option. Transparency feels honest, but honesty does not protect position. Mystery does. Full transparency is a modern illusion. The belief that openness creates trust. In ordinary relationships, perhaps. But near power, transparency creates vulnerability. When power knows exactly what you want, it knows exactly how to control you. Machiavelli advised keeping at least one intention hidden. One backup plan. One alternative path. This does not mean dishonesty. It means strategic reserve. When others do not know your full hand, they cannot predict your moves. And unpredictability is protection. The most effective people reveal enough to build trust but withhold enough to maintain leverage. They are honest about their values but vague about their limits. They are transparent in their work but mysterious in their ultimate goals. This balance creates respect without exposure. These 13 laws are not about cruelty. They are about awareness. Machiavelli did not teach people to become evil. He taught them to stop being naive. He understood that the world is not ruled by fairness, but by perception and positioning. Those who approach power emotionally are used or ignored. Those who approach it strategically are invited closer. Too many people enter the world of power believing good intentions matter. They believe hard work is rewarded automatically. They believe honesty creates opportunity. These beliefs are not evil, but they are incomplete. Power operates by different rules, and those who refuse to learn those rules remain powerless, no matter how talented they are. The 13 laws are tools. Like any tool, they can be used wisely or poorly. They can build alliances or destroy them. They can create influence or breed resentment. The difference lies in intention and execution. Use them to protect yourself from exploitation. Use them to build relationships based on mutual respect rather than dependence. Use them to navigate environments where emotional vulnerability is weaponized. But never use them to harm those weaker than yourself. That is not strategy. That is cowardice. Power does not ask who you are. It asks what you represent. And those who represent strength, control, usefulness, and discipline are never invisible. In the end, these laws teach one central truth: position is not given. It is taken. Not through force, but through presence. Through awareness. Through the quiet, relentless understanding of how power thinks, moves, and decides. Machiavelli wrote The Prince not to celebrate tyranny, but to expose its mechanics. He wanted those without power to understand how it operated, so they could survive it, navigate it, and perhaps, one day, wield it responsibly. The 13 laws are that same gift. Not rules of domination, but rules of survival. Not instructions for cruelty, but clarity about reality. Those who ignore them remain at the mercy of those who do not. Those who understand them gain the freedom to choose their position rather than accept what is given. Master the laws. But remember why you learned them. Not to become what you once feared, but to ensure you are never again powerless in its presence.